Good morning, students. We will basically those who are not able to join, or some of your friends maybe. I have shared a YouTube live streaming link, so they can join on YouTube live streaming also. And if they have any questions, they can put on the chat box of YouTube live.
Hello, sir. So I think voice is not available, like coming on the stream. Some of them are complaining on that. There is no sound on YouTube.
No, no, actually meeting is not yet started. The meeting will start, within let's say next 5 minutes. Once it start, I will able to get the live streaming also.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, students. Let's welcome. We have with us Mr. Jasmeet Singh. So he is basically vice president from in Aspiring Minds. We welcome you, Jasmeet. Today we have
Thank you,
with us
sir.
the BTech students, and I'd like to take hand over it to you, and at the end we'll take the question answers from the session. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Just a message for the students. You can put on the group that those who are not able to join on Zoom platform, the live streaming is going on YouTube, and the link is already shared here. Okay. Thank you, Jasmeet. I'll hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Well, I could see that there are almost 100 odd students now who have joined in, and that's a really pleasing, I would say, response. Okay, so the agenda for this particular webinar would be to in order to understand how the recruitment industry is shaping, what all ML and AI is doing in terms of recruitment industry, how Aspiring Minds is helping the corporates and as well as institutions. Maybe what all opportunities are now going to be live. What all profiles as per our survey are basically the ones which are, let's say, either they are the high paying jobs or they are the most sought after jobs during the COVID and even the post COVID. So, all that probably we have done in last 1.5 months and 2 months, we'll bring down to your desk. And right at the end, we'll have some queries coming in the chat section, and we'll be more than happy to answer those queries as well. Now, I think every candidate has gone through the MCAT test. You have gone through all the modules. You have your reports. You can compare your one report with another report. Well, you also know that what is a good score, bad score, what is not so good score. And if you ask me, what is a good score, then, what probably my pitch was before COVID has now changed during COVID and probably will also change post COVID. Why so? Because the number of engineers which were going to pass out, 1 year back is going to be similar, right? There will be no shrinkage in terms of engineers which are going to pass out. The market is sluggish, we all know. So the admissions in the first year probably could be a little lower than the last year. But, the engineers who are going to pass out for the next 3 years will remain as it is because they are all have taken the admissions and they are a part of the group as well. Having said that, this year where we could see, there are probably 30 lakh engineers or 14 lakh engineers passing out across India. The competition remains the same, right? The thrust remains the same. The intelligence factor, I would say, would have increased over these years or over these months because of the regular practice. All said and done, the competition among the peers will remain as it is. But the market opportunity, the vacancies, the kind of recruitment practices which are going on uh, will not be a little sluggish, will be a little slow, a little delayed. And with ML and AI, best of the practices coming in, it will actually make not your life easy, but as well at the same point of time, something that probably you will hear and watch for the first time. So there could be some unpleasant experiences because students who are not very, close to the technology, or they probably have not practiced enough on the technology, they would find, few things, I won't say unpleasant, but obviously they would actually take time to get immune or addicted to it. Now, when we have gone to the organizations and when we've gone to the companies, none of the companies were like, we'll not hire. Probably they were saying that we'll hire, but we need some time. We are keeping a check. We are looking at the market scenario. Maybe if probably we would have started in August, we'll start in September. If September a company used to start, then they'll go to October and then, so on and so forth. A lot of companies which hires through MCAT test also visits your group. They prefer our test. So I think you are all prepared now because you have tested, you have tried, you have touched, you have felt, and you have seen your reports. In terms of benchmarks, I would say that if you're scoring 600 in each, specifically English, logical, and quant aptitude test, then I think you are in a pretty comfort lounge. So you need to go back and see your reports, your last 2 reports, or even last 3 of your reports, where you could see that, how much have you scored. And the best one is obviously the latest one. So you can actually see, are you scoring 600 in each? And if not, then you should go back to your college, university, and maybe you will ask them, can I go ahead with one more option of the retest and can improve my score if given an opportunity? You also did the programming test, and I think programming is very, very important. I'll tell you the significance as well, but automata test that you have called taken, automata and automata fix is going to be very important. You received a score of 100. So if you'll ask me what is a good score, earlier I used to say, probably 50, 55 is a good score, and 40, 45 is a good score even because there is IT services and there is IT products. So, IT services probably could be around, let's say 50, or IT products could be around 60. But then now, everything has, probably moved, let's say plus 5 pointers, plus 10 pointers. So products, you should now see to it that, probably you're getting, at least around 65. And for services, probably you are getting minimum 50 or a 55 each. So I think this is very important from the industry perspective that, you're probably aiming high. As I said, that there are more tools, there are more virtual tools, there are scientific tools which are going to evaluate every one of us. Okay. Having said that, what are the market opportunities and, how the recruitment industry will shape in. Now, we have all, we'll all go ahead, with this particular module called mock interview. Now, we have spoken to your university, we have spoken to your college, the whole group as such. And now we are going to go ahead and we'll propose every one of you a mock interview tool. Now, what this tool is, this is basically a virtual experience for you to give an interview to a machine. Now, this is something that will happen actually in the real world, where the virtual machines will come in and they will have a predefined question set. Those predefined question sets could be, automated by the organization Aspiring Minds. Those predefined questions could be pre-automated or pre-feeded by, the organization as such. And there's another version of it where the predefined questions won't come, but the question on the fly will be there, where the corporate comes in and the human being is a part of the similar technology, which I'll talk about. And students will actually, get to see the live questions coming in on the way. Now, this is something that will happen. Why? Because the technology will take care of your content. The technology will take care of expressions. The technology will also take care of your emotions, the composure level. Even it will take care of the body postures. So make sure that the environment that you're sitting in is well lit. You have a good webcam where the pixels do not burst. You're not slouching too much. You're not bending too much ahead, forward, backwards, left, right. Not going too much backwards as well. So make sure your sitting postures are good. Make sure that the content is good. Make sure that you're not making any funny expressions, tongues in, tongues out, frowning. So everything is being caught by the machine. Machines are not biased, to be very frank. Machines obviously will not give you that comfort of taking a break and drinking a glass of water in between. Machines will have a predefined time limit, maybe 20-25 minutes, and 11 questions, 10 questions. And then you have to have some seconds of pause before, you deliver your answer. So you need to really understand that, with machines, you really cannot negotiate. You cannot really argument because machines are not biased. And at the same point of time, what you wear, how do you look, doesn't even matter at all. But yes, as what the science says, that if you can perform well in front of the machines, you will have the higher chances of performing better in let's say, in the human being interface. The another version of it is that, as a panel, as a human being for the organization comes in as an interviewer and he sits and uses similar technology. While he uses a similar technology, he will be able to ask you questions on the go. He will have chats, you will have simulations, you will have whiteboards in between. And it's just like in a virtual environment. It's just that you are not physically sitting with each other. You cannot physically handshake, but it's a virtual handshake. So the version is known as, I'll just put it on the chat for everyone. We are going to give you this module called mock interview. It's an internet institutional name given to a test called AutoView. So AutoView is in a corporate language. I put it in the chat box. AutoView, you search on the Google AutoView Aspiring Minds, and you will actually get to know how the system works. And the institutional name, which will give it to the institutions, which will give it to the students, is known as mock interview. And mock interview is something that you'll get very soon from our organization as a practice test in order to practice yourself. So we'll also generate a report for everyone. It will be around 6 to 8 pager depending upon the performance. So it will be a 6 to 8 pager report, and every one of you will receive a report in your email ID. So make sure that you are entering correct email IDs to receive your reports. All said and done over here in terms of virtual interviews, it is very important to lay your hands on written English. Now, I think you must have gone, through this module called WriteX. Now, WriteX is written English. I'm again putting it in the chat box. Now, what is WriteX? Everyone knows writing a passage and again getting a report of 7 to 8 pages. But there's another version of it which is called email writing. Now, we all know that it's a virtual world. We all have to write too much. We have to write a lot of emails. We have to write a lot of passages. We have to write actually to our clients sitting on the on-site. We might have to explain entire project of ours by writing, because every time it is not possible to have a conversation. So there will be a lot of exchange in terms of content. And now you need to have a better skill set in terms of writing. So please go back, look at your scores. If you're getting 3, please improve upon. If you're getting 4 or 5, you're in a comfort lounge. If it is 1 and 2 or 0, please, it's a call of a concern. Still 3, I would say is 3, those who have got, should do a rough check, dip check again, and, improve your scores. So your university might be able to give you another set of, test in case you want to see that, whether you've improved or not. So all those students who have 0, 1 and 2 and 3 should go back and practice, basis the reports that you have received. So again, the virtual world will enable us to do everything online. The another practice that is going to come down is a group discussion. So now group discussions which are going to happen. Interestingly, there is no other tool other than Aspiring Minds tool. And in the whole world, we have released this, few weeks back itself. And this tool is known as Smart Meet. Now, Smart Meet is basically where you smartly meet each other. It's a tool where you basically can have an interaction just like 6 to 7 students sitting at one side and the evaluator or the interviewer sitting on the other side, and they ask you questions. So this can happen as 1-to-1. This can happen also in the way of 1-to-many, many-to-many, and many-to-one. So, extempore, GD, whatever you say, and, various level of permutations and combinations are possible over this. So make sure that, you have searched this on the Google as well. Smart Meet on Google, and put Aspiring Minds in front of it, and you'll get to know that what this Smart Meet is all about. Then there's something, for the coders precisely, which is called a Code Meet. So if you go to the Code Meet, you will actually see that this is an interface platform only for the coders. Now, Code Meet, again, put Aspiring Minds in front of it, and on the Google, you will get to see and you can actually read about it. So Code Meet actually helps the coders to have simulations, problem statements in between. Compilers would be there, chatbots would be there, interview replay, wherein the interview can actually replay your code and can see what all have you written and spoken. So this is a real-time environment where the interviewer would be there, and these are specific platforms, specific to the expertise. The language, obviously, you get the independence on the language, either in the Automata and the Code Meet, both ways. But in the Automata, whatever you're doing, you were writing it, and there was no interviewer in front of you. You used to get a report. But in the Code Meet, it is basically a blended option where you are not only writing a code, but there's an interviewer waiting for you on the other side. And he's actually, waiting for your response in order to make it complicated, and then try to understand whether you can write logically efficient code or not. So this is something, again, which could come into the practice in terms of the best practices around the technology. Again, we need to understand, how this recruitment cycle would work. There is another tool which is a really good tool, and you can actually go onto the Aspiring Minds website and can see to it. It is called Resume Buddy. Again, this is AI driven tool. Now you all have your resumes, you all have your own formats. But what this Resume Buddy does is that it has 25 formats of different 25 organizations, so-called templates. So you might find one of Amazon, the Microsoft, or a Cognizant, or let's say, XYZ organization. And those are like, highly recommended templates. So you download them, you draft your own resume, you build your own resume basis on templates. So you can design 3 in a year, so you'll have 3 resumes which suits probably 3 of the sectors or 3 of the companies precisely. And now what's AI over here? So whenever you will take this particular resume and put it back into the system will throw you questions. So system will give you, and will actually give you those set of questions which can be asked by the interviewer. So those are called as predicted questions. So you can get prepared basis your own inputs that what kind of questions can be asked by the interviewer when he look at my resume before you get interviewed. So that's where the AI works very efficiently. It's a very sophisticated tool. So yes, Resume Buddy is an interesting tool for you to not only make a resume, but even to face set of questions which can be asked by the interviewer before you get actually interviewed by the interviewer. So this is something which is the virtual environment, which is what we say the virtual technologies which have taken over. We all have these tools as an organization. We had these tools before the COVID as well. It is not that because of the COVID these all tools are into the practices now. It's just that the demand for these tools across India, across institutions, students, corporates have gone multiple folds high in last 2.5 months. So a lot of students have requested their institutions to avail all of such, and we as an organization are trying to help the candidates in order to solve their problems at every junction, whatever they can face. So I think domain skills is what we left out with only. So domain skills is your skills, your subjects, be it electronics, mechanical, instrumentation, computer science, electrical engineering, or IT or MCA. I think it is important for every one of you to understand that the domain skills are going to be very important. Because if you're looking at product companies, if you're looking at core companies, if you're looking at the domain driven organizations, then obviously your subject matter or your subject knowledge has to be really very very good. So aim at 500, 550 in your subjects. That is something that you should aim at. You need to also understand that you are in a league of the top of the institutions. So when a company goes to IITs, they actually expect the IITians to be intelligent, and they have a different set of level of interaction altogether. Maybe a different panel also goes over there. Obviously PICT, RV Institute, VIT, MIT, they are in a super different league altogether. They are in a top-notch league. So obviously the corporates have also have a higher expectations, and I think you are a bridge between the college and the institution to obviously bridge that level of expectations and come up to the expectations of what the corporates are looking forward to. So I'm very sure that the virtual drives are already on, virtual practices are already on. You will see, and you will actually interact with a lot of sophisticated tools, a lot of sophisticated interfaces. And I think it is very important for every one of you to, really, really focus on that. Now, in terms of our survey, so we did one survey very recently, and during that survey, you know, we found that there were a lot of a lot of opportunities which were there, and these opportunities were around technical and non-technical both. So I'll just talk about that very quickly, because I think then we'll have very brief interaction or query sections coming in from the students. So yeah, so so we did a survey. We never had technical profiles or non-technical profiles as a survey. So we just did a survey, and that was around few of the corporates, maybe 100 plus, and then we saw that what are the opportunities which are coming around. Something that was very interesting was copywriting, which was so-called content writing, but it's different from content writing. You don't have to write much over here. It has less to do with the writing and more to do with connecting with people. So copywriting, it's in a huge demand. Why? Because new websites, new blogs, new landing pages, new sort of emails, new posts, everything is getting either revamped, edited, or newly framed. So this is where the students who are very good in write text, those are very good in, let's say, written English, or those are very confident of writing good content, should actually aim at copywriting if they're not interested in technical jobs. Then the second one is digital marketing. So there are a lot of certifications, a lot of learnings going on digital marketing, and that's where India is heading towards. Everyone is talking about how can I take my business online now? How can I manage my traffic? Can I manage my funnel online? can I do my social media marketing as well? Can I do organic promotions? Can I do campaigns? So there's a huge technology involvement in it, and someone who has an interest of doing, let's say, MBA later on, or let's say some kind of a certification around, let's say, marketing. So digital marketing is the way to go, where the technology and it's a blend of marketing both together, and digital marketing is the way to go ahead. A very sought after job after COVID, which we came to know after the survey, was video editing. So video editing, you can see on the Facebooks, Instas, and YouTubes. There are a lot of video editors or video editing going on. Everything is getting revamped. The entire tonality of the information and the language has been, reprocessed. So video editing is something, that is, very sought after job. And this is one skill that can be really learned very, very fast. Okay, then the software development, as we all know, coding now. As I said, coders are required. Why? Because let's say for our organization, Aspiring Minds, where our engineers, used to come down to your college and used to test everyone, which will not happen now. Why? Because everyone is in the safe confines of their residence. And what will happen is that now we will basically test every one of you through, online technology, anti-cheating technologies. There will be layers of security, so the entire operations have to be revamped. So you need a back end to be prepared, you need a front end to be prepared, a lot of UX UI work, a lot of integrations, a lot of third party integrations. So you need to make sure that you have the best of the coders, not only in order to integrate, but integrate efficiently. And obviously, everything is on a fast track, so you really need really awesome coders. So a lot of operations are getting revamped, a lot of new websites are getting revamped, a lot of new products are coming in, around healthcare and even agriculture, which I'll talk about it. So there is a huge scope in terms of especially I would say coders. Now, very interestingly, there was another skill which was there, and I think which needs to be acquired. And I think again this can be coupled with a technology which is called language translators. So now, physically we all know that there were guides, language translators. If someone is going to China or a Europe, they used to say that we need language translators. So someone from India used to go along with them, and one can speak in the local language and can make an Indian understand. So this is the way that the businesses were traveling, but now that is not possible. So how would you do that? So obviously someone would be required, and if the technology is there in order to translate that language in any of the languages, be it remotely Indian language, maybe Kannada, Marathi, or any language, probably which is an international language, and if the technology is there, I think this is one skill, which can be coupled, with the, obviously technology, and there's a huge requirement around that. Again, I think for women and for the girls who are not ready to leave Pune precisely, or they are not ready to leave their hometowns, I think it's a great opportunity, because every organization today, to start with, they are actually providing work from home. And it's a golden opportunity for all the ladies, for all the girls, because if you can perform really well work from home, you can actually show them that you are equally deservable, and yes, work from home is possible, with the similar amount of dedication, passion, and the results. So yes, it's a golden opportunity. Another thing which was there, which is which we came out with, was virtual reality, VRs. Now we all know that in saloons, when you go, probably they make you show that how your hair makeup could look like. So something that has really revamped is basically a garment industry. Now garment industry, people are not going to buy stuff. So how the government industry is reacting, the garment industry is basically reacting by showcasing that if you wear this, then how will you look like. So this is something that this industry is revamping, and VR, virtual reality, is actually coming up. So you might see some Nike and Adidas coming up with the virtual reality shoes, and they would say that step in and this is how it would look like. So I think this is something that is really catching up, and again there's an opportunity here. uh, the corporates, when we spoke with, they said that social skills, composure, team working, multitasking, whether you agree or disagree, and open to the experience. Now these are the things that will really matter a lot, because when you are virtually working, your multitasking is actually sky high. So for example, you're sitting at your place, there's a small brother who is making noise, there are people coming in, going out, everything is basically virtually handled. then there's an infrastructure in place, let's say internet and everything that needs to be managed, the bandwidth has to be managed, and then obviously the other tasks, professional and personal, they are all going simultaneously. So you need a lot of focus, you need a lot of let's say best practices multitasking, and you need really to see to it that how will you do this multitasking for yourself and for the organization to achieve the goal. Social skills, why? Because you'll interact with a lot of people online, whom you know, whom you don't know. Maybe you're not able to see them for a year and a half or 2 years, but you'll be able to hear them. So social skills are actually required, not only to be able to understand them, have a good, relation with them, have a good employee relation, and then obviously take it forward in terms of your professional career. So this is something, that will be there. Team working is something which is going to be very important. You need to work as a team, and virtually, I think this will be challenging for everyone, because when you're seated in your organization as a team, you sit in one cubicle or across the desk, you meet together, you have lunch together, you move out together, and you physically move left and right together. But here you have to move virtually. So I think yes, again an opportunity for every one of you to understand that these are the skills which are required. Not only soft skills, you need to actually put yourself on the hard skills as well, and then there are hard skills and soft skills both. So these are soft skills, so obviously you need to balance between soft and hard, and you need to see to it that how you balance them. Some of the profiles that really come out good was data science, big data engineer, information security. Now information security, I would say is something that has really picked up, because huge information is online, and we need to be aware about this fact that when the information is online, there's a huge data online. So how can we secure that? How we can basically tackle that? Can we have ethical hackers in place? So data architect, network architect, web developers, software quality assurances, all this is in place now. Again, I would say there is something so-called interesting for the telecom industry. Why? Because telecom industry, the way they are shaping up, because we all know that huge bandwidth, internet speed, GPS, and all of this is required, in order to make sure that everything is working perfectly fine. So I think everyone is aware about chatbots. Now chatbots are coming into place. Every website needs a chatbot. So you can go to your college website and see whether it's chatbot or not. If not, try to position a chatbot for your university or a college. Try to see that you can give the solution to any organization. And so-called chatbot, then there are so-called agribots. Now agribots are basically for agriculture. It's a new opportunity. It's not a chatbot, but it's a robot in agriculture. uh, and this is something which is going to be amazing. Why? Because large amount of, let's say, you know I would say, these agrobots are required for weeding, fertilizing, and really to speed up the harvesting, as they can pick up the fruit every 2 to 3 seconds. So these robots are actually very cheap to build, because they're cheaper than the human labor as well. So yeah, so agrobots, are something that can be looked into it. And then there are some kind of drones which are now basically given as an opportunity. Why? Because there are some kind of survey drones. These survey drones are the ones which are actually employed for surveying the farms. And we know that agriculture is big in our country. So how we can survey the farms, and also these drones are equipped with some of the photo cameras that can monitor the stress of the crop, the plant growth, and there's a technology there. It can predict the yields also. So all said and done, this is something where this space actually requires a lot of technology. uh, I don't know whether you've heard or not, but then there are some kind of tractors which requires very sophisticated GPS, sophisticated telecom technologies, advanced networking. Why? Because these smart tractors, we have heard about smart vehicles. So they are smart tractors which actually enables the farmers to keep the track of the tractors, and there are some farm equipments which can automatically plug their fields. So all of this is required. There are sensors, which are required for scanning the oil, scanning the water, humidity, temperature management is there. So agriculture is a huge sector in demand. And then the technology, if we can put it across, with all sort of innovation that we can do over there. I think it's amazing opportunity for all of us. Looking at this COVID, I think this has given us an opportunity to translate this physical world into the virtual world. So this is more like a 2K or Y2K opportunity, you know. So every time we have probably seen a recession, 2001, 2007 and 8, 2010, then 2014, a bit of it, and then now 2020. So every time we saw the recession, every time there was an opportunity, and every time we came out of this with, you know, better solidarity, or, you know, with obviously, you know, with better strength, with better results. And every time this recession, or probably so-called recession, or so-called the, you know, obviously sluggish market, or probably so-called, you know, the slow market, has given an opportunity, and we as an Indians have taken this opportunity, you know, with, you know, open hands, open heartedly, wholeheartedly, and giving an overwhelming response to this, you know, recession. So I think amazing opportunity for all the students, and I'm very sure that every one of you will actually, you know, take this opportunity to the next level. There's something, you know, for the hackers, ethical hackers. I think you can do your certifications. There's an organization called EC Council. EC Council is one of those organizations which had CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, also in place. So you can do your certifications from there. And then there is Upgrad, Udemy, Coursera, Cypher Schools. Uh, and there are a lot of organizations, Board Infinity, Simply Learn, you know, where you can do your certifications, can learn a lot of stuff. And the corporates are also looking forward to that, what we have done in last 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, because every corporate knows that you are sitting at your place, you are not going to the colleges are closed. So you have, you know, sufficiently more number of hours, because, you know, you are not traveling, you're saving that time, 2 hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, the lunch time, the break times, the travel time, you know. And they all know that, you know, you cannot go to the gym, you know, you're not going for the movie, so you have a lot of time for yourself. So what have you done in those times? So there could be a question coming from the corporate in last 3 months, 4 months, what are certifications you have done? Have you done something extra beyond your academic curriculum? And I think that's a very important question that could come up, and you all need to get prepared in case your resume has nothing to show. Still there is a time left. I think 1.5 months you can put yourself into those, into that particular league, you know, learn something, have some certifications coming in, and say that, you know, I was preparing for that and now I have a certification which stamps, you know, the credibility. So yeah, so this is something that I have to say. I would love to give a word of encouragement to the final year candidates. Do not panic, because sooner or later everyone gets employed, right? You know, everyone gets a job, uh, and it's just about the time. So let the time pass by, and yes, there are opportunities coming on our way. Even we as an us have started, you know, with the hiring drives. So there are opportunities coming on the way. Just wait, have patience, because the market is not very you know, it's not on a fast track as of now. So you need to wait. And the corporate, the industry is really very optimistic. So a lot of companies have said that if not November, October, December, we can start our hiring from January. So that is okay, you know, that is fine, you know. So till the time we are in the college and we are getting the organizations, let us make the use of that every single opportunity that is going to come down. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, sir. I would love to have, you know, queries coming in. One can share the YouTube link also with me over this chat box, so that I can view what all, you know, queries are coming onto the YouTube as well.
Thank you, Jasmeet. It was very nice session regarding the campus recruitment process and aspiring minds, kind of the MCAT test and how one can go for the So students can put their questions in chat box, or maybe they can share their queries in YouTube live streaming. Okay, so I'll open the forum for question answer sessions.
So, see, MCAT is an employability job, employability test. Sorry, it probably will not impact you directly or will give you any kind of benefit for your degrees because it's not an admission test. But yes, see, the kind of skills that are required in order to clear any kind of an entrance is something that you can, get yourself, assessed. And then with all this assessment in place, you can actually see that where you are, what are your weaknesses and strengths. And I think I've mentioned a couple of tests all around it, and you can do that. There's another test, you know, there are another lot of personality tests which you can talk about it, and these personality assessments tests are also required. So you can go ahead and do this test also, which is AMPI, and you can search on the Google. It's again aspiring minds test, and your personality traits will be assessed on that. So you should actually take in consideration of your aptitude, and then your, let's say, your reasoning, your critical reasonings, your AMPI, and in case you need any specific module in relation to MS, where you basically want to prepare yourself, then you can request our organization, and we can actually provide it to you. See, business analyst certificate is provided by the AMCAT basis your skills. So once we have assessed your skills, there are a lot of job matches which Aspiring Minds does it. So we basically have done almost 900 plus profile matches. So as per your performance, as per your skill set, it says that you are good to be hired, or probably you are employable as a business analyst. So that is a certificate that is given to you, and you can use it on the LinkedIn now. So all the certificates that you get can be used on the LinkedIn. Students can ask the questions. Feel free to ask.
Yeah, because we open this forum for question answers only. We have kept last 20 minutes for question answers.
AMCAT is a job employability test for the freshers only. What I'll do over here is that I will put a link for you where not only you can see the profile or the requirements of business analyst, but you can also scroll through the jobs which are going to be available in short period of time for all of you. That's the link, myamcat.com. You can all download this particular MyMCAT app also from your mobile Play Store or Google Store, and can actually keep on applying the jobs as well there over there.
This policy of representing your AMCAT score in the mark sheet this semester onwards, your department will let you know. Okay.
Well, you can use this platform to give mock interviews. How? Now, as a relation, we are going to send a link. My colleague Ankur will coordinate with the college and the university, and we'll send a link to all of you, and you have to attempt that particular link in order to get yourself, prepared for the mock interviews or the virtual interviews. You will also get a report, and please go through that report, that what all mistakes you did, and what needs to be done in order to prepare it much better. So we'll basically send you a link, every one of you. Keep on asking questions, because no one would be able to resolve your queries specifically related to any of the assessment tools or the opportunities or how the industry is shaping out. The reason being, we are very closely associated with the company, so that we can actually let you know that what is going to happen and what could happen and how what is happening right now. I'm very sure that you have career gurus, with you from your college and universities. They are in touch with us. We are in touch with them. Mutually, we are trying a level best, to give you the best solutions in order to overcome, this very so-called sluggish market. But you need to open up with your queries. You can ask queries to sir. You can ask the queries to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer all of them. I think, sir, there are not much queries from the final
Yes,
year. I
yes, I
think they
think
are pretty prepared, I guess.
yes,
So
they are final year students. Some of them already got placed. Most of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that could be the reason. And all
Yes.
the very best, I think, to the students, to the university, to the campus. And I'm very sure that you'll come out with the flying colors and will set a benchmark for your juniors now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you so much for wonderful sessions. Thank you so much. We will stop here. All the students can leave the meeting. Thank you so much.